Good morning, everyone. I'm here with a tutorial. This is a tutorial on my sewing machine. I did a video right before Christmas on some throw pillows and how easy it was just to make something easy. And I had Frank Janvari or Janvari. That's Frank Janvari. Forgive me if I've butchered your name. This person asked if I could do more sewing videos, and yes, of course I can do more sewing videos. I could start off with basic things, but the first thing that he wanted was a video on how to thread the sewing machine and how to wind up the bobbin. So here I am with my sewing machine because this is what I know. I am not an expert on sewing machines, but I will tell you a little bit about mine. My sewing machine is a Brother XL 3750. I got this sewing machine, I don't recall exactly. It could be 3-4 years ago. And I got this either through QVC or HSN. It was just over a couple of $100 or just close to a couple of $100. It may be less now. I don't know. Maybe there's something better and new. Well, I'm sure there's something better and new. Okay, well, my sewing machine has some little features that can be used for quilting. It has this long arm on it. This comes off very easily. It just slides right off and then it slides back on. If I don't want to use this arm, it has this little attachment which will go on there instead of the arm. Let's put that aside. These fold down so that you can easily store this. And then, of course, I've got this part, and I haven't done this in a while because I always use the long arm. Okay, here we go. That's what my sewing machine looks like, just as a regular sewing machine. It has the usual buttonhole, straight stitch, zigzag, and then, of course, it goes on to more complicated zigzags. And then it's got this one here where you can do those type of embroidery features, and these over here. I have done some of these. I've done this one, this number 28 one, and it looks really cute. I have not used much of those because I do many, and there's my little ninja kitty in the background. I do many little crafts with my sewing machine, and I haven't used it a lot for doing crafts. I have been doing a lot of sewing, but not enough to where I had an idea that I could just do a video on. So I'm just going to do just basic stuff. So for today, I am going to show you how to wind it now or how to thread it. Now, a lot of sewing machines pretty much tell you what to do. As you can see here, it's got this little diagram right here. It's basically telling you this is where you're going to put your thread. Let's put that on there. And here's the end. Let's see. Here's the end. And you're basically going to bring it over. And here's a diagram showing you number 1. And it's got an arrow going that way. I think my hand is causing all that blurriness. I'm really sorry. So basically I'm going to go around like this. Okay? And I'm going to make sure it catches on down here, as is shown right here. Okay? So go through here and then go around it. And then you're going to go down here, and it's got a little arrow for number 2. It's basically saying keep going, keep going, keep going. And then it's got like a little U-turn for number 3 here, and then you go up, up, back up, and then you're going to go around. That will make it hook on to this little part. Let me see if I can get it to move. See that little silver part moving? That is a little hook in there that will catch the thread. You just got to bring the thread around and it'll catch in there. And since the thread is right in there, it'll catch very easily. Let me go ahead and do that where we come across. Oops, I like to come underneath this way. I'm going down number 2 here, following that, following number 3, and then back up. And here's where I do a little turn. See? And then that catches on to that part. And then I've got number 5, which is to go down this way. So then the next thing would be to put the thread through this needle here. So let me put this down. Let's see if I can do this. There we go. Let me turn the light on in the sewing machine. There we go. Which the lights will usually be a little switch on the side, maybe on the back. There we go, maybe somewhere here in the front. This is a reverse stitch thing here. And this is where I move my knob to get to any of these. Right now I just have it on a regular stitch, which is at number 2 right there. Okay, here we go. Let's thread this. Now the nice thing about this sewing machine that I really, really like, this is where we left off at number 5, is that it has this little drop thing. And this little drop thing is to thread it. Now if you didn't have that, you would just take your thread through there. There should be a little hook that grabs the thread there, and then you would just put the thread through the hole of the needle. Let me do that. I'm having a little bit of trouble, so I actually end up using the threader. Now you may have a little manual threader, then you can certainly use that on here. The kind that you use like to thread a regular hand sewing needle. Okay, I've got it through the hole on there, and there we go. That's it. And then you would put it through here, and then we'd pick up the thread on the bottom. But now I need to show you how to thread the bobbin, which will go on the bottom here, and we'll place it in there, and how to catch that. I should have done that first. So anyway, this is how you would thread the sewing machine. Or this little drop down thing here, look at that. I can hook it right there, bring this forward to the hole of the needle, bring this under, and boom, it pulls it out from behind for me. So it's super easy. It's super easy to thread this. So now let me show you how to wind a bobbin up here, okay? And I'll be right back while I set this up. All right, so now we're up at the top where we can wind the bobbin. And again, it has a little diagram right here how to do it. It's basically telling you from here it goes into the onto the bobbin, and it tells you to just wind it up this way, the thread, to start it, and then we're going to push this in. Oops, sorry. We're going to push that in, and then just run the sewing machine like you would, like if you were just sewing. So I'm going to push this back, and let's get the thread on there. All right. So now basically this tells you to put the thread through one of these little holes coming out. And usually bobbins will have either a ton of these little holes, or they'll just have one, and that's what that little hole is for. I just wind it up like so. Let's get this here. Now, one thing I've discovered when I'm winding a bobbin, and I'm going to tell you because you may have that same problem. Let me go ahead and just start it up, because this is what the machine is basically telling me to do. It's basically telling me to go over here. Ow, sorry. Basically telling me to go over here. Let's push this back. Wind it around, and you got to kind of have it kind of tight so it'll actually wind. That's why you need that to go through that little hole. Anyway, I'm going to just do this. This is how you would normally just wind a bobbin. Okay? That's not working for me for whatever reason. So let's do this here. Maybe I did it the wrong way. Let's twirl it from behind. I haven't wound a bobbin in a while. There it is. Okay, let's get this back over here because I got my finger in there. Okay, let's get this on there. This is a real nice video, isn't it? I'm messing up a lot. Oh, you're learning a lot of things. Okay, well, you're learning what not to do. Okay, so let's get this back on there. And let's get this on there. Okay, so basically that's what you're going to do. You're just going to leave it alone and let it just wind up till it's full, and it'll basically kind of click back when it's done. So let's go ahead and get that going a little bit faster. Now, what I notice sometimes is the thread seems to wind more down at the bottom than it does at the top. So what I do is I just hold the thread so it's nice and even, and I just kind of help it fill in those little areas where it's just kind of not winding on. So I'm just going to help it by leading it up and down so I can get an even wind all the way. And I'm trying to wind this to the point where it actually just stops on its own. So as you can see, it's getting a lot of thread on there. Let's see. it's going down under here because I stopped grabbing it, and that's what I don't like. This is why I like to hold on to the thread, and I'm kind of glad that happened, because that's what I wanted to tell you. Just grab onto the thread and kind of help it, lead it so that it doesn't get caught up on here, because you don't want to wind it on here. You want to wind it on the bobbin. But the bobbin is full, so I'm going to go ahead and stop there. Okay, we're going to move down to the bottom so I can now show you how to put the bobbin in there. All right, I'm back at the point where I've threaded my the thread through the whole machine, and I've got it in the needle here. And my sewing machine has this little compartment right here. Some of them may have it on the side over here, or in the front. There may be a little area where you might have to pull this off, and underneath there will be a place where you will load your bobbin. But my sewing machine has it right up here in the top, and it's just this little thing that I pull, and this comes off, and it tells me right there to drop my bobbin with the thread on the left side, right in there. And then it tells me there's a little bit here, and I've got to get my thread under there. Oops, sorry. I don't even want to restart. I'd have to start the whole video. So here we go. We're going to keep going with all my bloops and bloppers and whatever you call these things. Bloopers. Okay, so I'm just going to put my thread there. And now I'm going to put this little thing, the little cover, back on there. And I'm going to grab onto this thread from the top, the one that comes out from the needle. Just with my hand, I'm going to roll down the machine so that the needle will go down. And this is supposed to pick up the thread on the bottom, and sure enough, it does. And then you can just pull it through, and there we go. We have successfully threaded the machine. This is ready to sew. And let me show you. Just drop the little leg down on it. I like to put down my needle right in the spot where I want to start, and then just start sewing. Simple as that. That is how you thread this particular sewing machine. And I can promise you that a lot of sewing machines, especially by this brand, Brother, will have directions on how to thread it, just like mine does. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was helpful. If there's anything that I may have missed, just go ahead and leave a comment at the bottom. And please give me a big old thumbs up. And as always, subscribe and enjoy.